Hey guys, just a reminder, we're going to be streaming Deltarune tonight on Twitch, so yeah, check that out, I guess. It'll be in a few hours. Still February, and I said I'm going to talk about romance, so let's talk about love interests. There's a lot that goes into making a love interest, though I personally find that making a good love interest kind of comes down to, first and foremost, making a good character. But that doesn't mean there isn't aspects to love interest creation that aren't unique to that specific type of character. You've probably heard the phrase, they complete each other, before, and for all its faults, it's still a good starting point for creating romantic interests. Your love interest most likely should have something that your character is lacking. This usually is your character's main flaw. If your character lacks confidence, your love interest has it. If your character is rude, your love interest will be kind. If your character is a workaholic, your love interest will know how to cut loose. The way that completing each other happens is throughout the story, they will learn to put away negative aspects of their self in favor of the new perspective that your love interest gives them. Since your story will challenge the character with things that they can't face with their current flaw, the love interest is there to show them that there is another way. So if we have a character that's a workaholic, they work at a store where everyone constantly pushes them to work more, and because they don't know how to say no, they're always saying yes, things are bad for them. Our love interest is then a character that knows how to chill and doesn't like to take on challenges. Our main character then, throughout the course of our story, begins to realize that they can't keep allowing people to walk all over them. Our love interest would continually push them to be their best self. That is how a love interest works. But that's not where it ends. While it's fine if the love interest plays the role of a mentor character, it can start to make the relationship feel pretty one-sided. What helps with this is to consider your character's story in reverse. Write the plot summary from the perspective of your love interest. While they might help the main character with their flaw, they equally can learn about their own flaw through the main character. Maybe while your character is too meek, our love interest takes things too far in the other direction. Using a character and love interest to balance out two extremes is often the easiest way to write a nice two-sided relationship. However, the flaws don't necessarily need to be related. Our love interest could be the perfect amount of self-assured and have an issue instead with like a fear of spiders or something. As long as they help each other overcome, it counts. Though I personally would keep the flaw relevant, if not opposite, in a kind of a building theme kind of way. And finally, not all relationships are built around conflict. I mentioned this in my last video, but there are tertiary background relationships, and when you're writing those, the principles apply. The only difference is that it isn't shown when a plot arc is not involved. All relationships have a push and pull of flaws and strengths. When considering background romances, think about what flaws they have worked or not worked out together, and how it shows through their interaction. Whether or not a relationship blossomed on screen or not, there's still a history there. Think about what roles each relationship partner takes and how it affects their outlook on life and their interactions with other characters. The main characters we discussed earlier could easily be background characters as well. Our main character would always retain some level of shyness, but prodding from the love interest would show how they've worked to overcome that and how they work together to make sure that each other is heard. I guess basically looking at people as if they are the heroes of their own stories is kind of like the way to go when it comes to writing anything, and writing love interests and relationships is no exception to that rule. I hope this helped out. Next week I'm going to be talking about love triangles, so that should be fun. Good topic, 10 out of 10, and yeah, I hope you come back next week and subscribe so that you don't miss that. I also need to talk about Patreon because I have started one. I started one forever ago, but I've revamped all of the Patreon tiers, so there's a whole bunch of new cool stuff involved there, and like some stuff to do with live streaming and also Discord. We now have Discord like voice chatting channels where me and Ursula go and talk with our lovely voices. And yeah, you can get into those with like the minimum donation to Patreon. So that's cool. I hope you check that out. And if you don't have money, that's cool. Don't worry about it. You can still come on our Discord and text chat, and that's equally fun, right? 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Okay, I gotta go edit this and maybe write a longer script next week. Okay, goodbye.